Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Food Junkie. Just coming to you with a video. This is gonna be not a long one, and it's I know this is not on quote unquote cold or on topic of what's going on in this sector at this very moment, but I like to do things a little differently. I like to talk about things that actually improve or expand understanding and education and things of that nature. And want to give you something to think about. You saw the title, Emancipation, December 2nd, 2022. That's the title of this video. And the emancipation, we know what that is, or we should know what that is based on history and Black history, slave history, freedom history, things of that nature. We should know what that word means. It means freeing of the slaves and things of that nature. That people contribute that to Abraham Lincoln in 1865. You know, as we know that emancipation started on, sorry, that happened in 1864, but in January 1st, 2000, sorry, 2000. January 1st, 1865 was the first day of the Emancipation Proclamation, of course. And we celebrate Juneteenth because while it was quote unquote illegal to have slaves, or the first supposed to have been freed on January 1st, um, they the message didn't get um, down to the South and really took effect until June 19th. So that's why we celebrate June 19th. But this is about the Emancipation, the movie, and Will Smith. Like Will Smith or not like Will Smith, it is what it is. He is in a new movie that's going to be released December um, 2nd, 2022, and it's called Emancipation. The movie is based on, we all seen this picture before, the black man, the ex-slave, that his back is turned to the camera. He's sitting on a chair, and on his back, there's all these horrific scars and keloids based on when he was whipped and beaten as a slave. Picture is, I'm not sure what the name of the picture is. I'm not sure what the name of the man is at this very moment, so please forgive me on that aspect. But that picture has been shown across the world, and that was the picture of slavery. That was the picture of the brutality of slavery. I was watching his interview on Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah last day I think is doing the Daily Show is December 8th, I think it is. So Will Smith is on there talking about the emancipation and the movie and the meaning of it, and you know how Will likes to get deep, which is, I mean, I really do enjoy Will. He's a really intelligent man, things of that nature. But with that, something that kind of struck me that got me doing this video is he said that when he was contemplating doing the movie, Willow, his daughter, asked him, like, "Daddy, do we really need another slave movie?" And he told her, "It's not a slave movie; it's a freedom movie. It's a movie about freedom." You know what I'm saying? And it got me to thinking, why is it that we, as a people, want to push things under the rug, but yet expect people to remember what we've been through? We don't want to talk about it. We say there's too much talking about it. There's too much going on with it. But yet we, as a people, as a culture, choose to try to push it under the rug and forget about it and not talk about it. You don't hear the Jewish people saying, "Do we need another Holocaust movie?" You know what I'm saying? If someone was to say, "Do we need another Holocaust movie?" they will be considered or deemed or titled as anti Semitic. But it's so easy and comfortable for us as a people, as a culture, to say, "Oh, we don't want to see another movie about slaves." When you, for me, have that mindset and that attitude, you take on this monolithic idea of what slavery is and what slavery meant to people. Each individual person that was enslaved have a different story to tell. And we should be open and willing to hear each and every story. Not brush it under the rug, not try to minimize it, not try to not understand. And as I said many times before, slavery has always been part of the human condition. Slavery has always been part of the world condition. And slavery has been in every part of the world. Slavery did not start in Africa. Slavery did not start with the transatlantic connection. That's not how slavery started. Every time that one culture fought another culture and that culture lost, from the Greeks to the Egyptians to the Chinese to whomever, the losers pretty much were enslaved by that winning team. But the reason why the slave trade of the Americas is such a huge topic or such a huge thing that we should always be willing to learn more about, understand, talk about, make movies about, and things of that nature is because it's the brutality in which the African slave was treated here in America. It was the unimaginable aspect of what you have done to a human being, what a human being has suffered and dealt with. So it would never be enough slave, quote unquote, slave movies or quote unquote freedom movies, however you want to coin it or talk about it. It would never be enough. It would never, the stories would never, I would never stop wanting to hear these stories. Now, I'm excited about this movie because I've seen that picture since I was a child. Never knew the name of the man. I mean, I knew it at one point, but I forgot his name. But that image is why I am the way I am, why I think the way I think about slavery and quote unquote freedom movies, slave movies, however you want to look at it or coin it, and how I know that it is so much more out there that we need to talk about, that we need to explore. Because we as a culture, especially in 2022, think that it's over, think that it's non-existent, think that it is not there, but not realizing that everything that we've been through back then we're still going through today. It just has transformed into something that is more palatable. But the effects of what we're going through is the same. Being spiritually broken, being mentally broken, being educationally broken. Back then they said we couldn't, it was illegal for us to read. Today they give us misinformation. Why do you think that that quote is so prevalent in the Black community? If you want to hide something in plain sight, put it in a book, write it down, because they're not going to read it anyway. They're not going to be able to understand it anyway. They're not going to be able to comprehend it anyway. That's the same exact mentality as basically saying it's illegal for you to read. But now they're just doing it in our faces. What's so funny and what's so sad to me is there's so much commentary being put out there about these two groups of women fighting in this sector. But no one's talking about the Emancipation movie coming out and the importance of that to this culture. I don't get it. I'm confused. But once again, like I said, I'm no better than anyone. I'm just different. What people found entertaining, I don't find entertaining. I really don't care about that because that is not going to change my life for the better. Who talk about who's fighting who and what it means, that because that's, to me, that's stupid and irrelevant to me. It is. I don't care about that bull crap. I'm more concerned about how am I going to live in this world, in the real world, on a daily basis, and what affects my living the way that I want to live, how I deem myself deserving to live and to be looked at in this world. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that the movie The Emancipation starring Will Smith about I had the man's name on the tip of my tongue at one point, but I just don't remember it. But the picture is so prevalent. It's the picture of the black man, the slave, sitting on the chair, exposing his back. And the picture was taken The significance of the picture was to expose the brutality and what other humans have done to other humans. And what's so funny about it is that even with what's going on in this sector right now, for me, it's paramount to seeing the same thing. You're watching people, black people, destroy each other for the entertainment of the masses. They would beat us. They would rape us. They would degrade us for entertainment, for the masses. They will hang us. They will castrate us publicly for the masses. And if you don't see how we're doing that to each other for the entertainment of the masses, we are our own worst enemy. We are our own detriment to society. No longer are we looking for the other people to do that to us for the entertainment of the masses. We're doing it to each other for the entertainment of the masses. And it's funny how people think that it doesn't affect you, but it does. Okay, welcome. And yeah, like a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people don't understand the significance of that picture, how it changed how people looked at slavery and the brutality and the torment and the psychological damage that we experience today. That's why it's so easy for us to attack each other. But the people that's really doing the damage to us, that's causing the emotional damage for us, we're not looking at them. We're not holding them accountable. First thing we'll say is, oh, we do it to each other. Yes, I said that was not, but I'm giving you the reason why we're doing it to each other. See, it's one thing to say that we destroy each other, but if you don't understand the why behind it, the psychology behind it, the lineage of destruction behind it, how it is embedded into our DNA to go against our best interest. It's easy to say, well, voting doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. They want us to believe that. They want us to think that. They want us to feel like we don't have a voice. Us not realizing that we have given them. They have no longer taken our voice. We are now giving them our voice. We are allowing them to think for us, to interpret for us, to comprehend for us, which is paramount as the same thing as give them a book, they won't understand it. But now it's verbal. Now it's through videos. We don't get that. Oh yes, we want to be entertained, but yet we think that entertainment comes without a price. It comes with a very huge price if you're not careful about how you choose to be entertained. The price is the lack of knowledge, the lack of understanding, the lack of comprehension, the lack of critical thinking. Yeah, how the news reported was that is you don't ever hear anything good on the news. Everything that you hear on the news is always bad and always to the propaganda of the black race or our culture is bad. Our culture is no good. Our culture doesn't do anything positive. Very rarely do you hear something on the news that reflects positivity for the culture, even amongst ourselves. It's just sentiment, and we choose to fall for it. We choose to go with it and just go with the flow and not question. I find it really sad, and it's not only most things. We choose to be emotionally damaged. We choose to consistently not think for ourselves. Why do you think like that? When I say that this little sector that we're in, that we watch, is a microcosm of the BS that goes on in the real world, just like in this little sector called quote unquote the beef sector, the most ratchet, the most destructive, the most vile, get the most views and clicks. In the real world, the most ratchet, the most degrading, the most vile entertainers and entertainment get the most views and clicks. And when it comes to us, you have people who say they're woke, but yet ask the questions. Do we need another movie about slavery? What are you afraid to see? Are you afraid to be emotionally attached to something that involves you? Are you afraid to see yourself and see how they look at us? Is it going to burst your bubble of this privileged life that you have grown to live, that you have made for yourself, that your parents have worked hard for to shield you from? Movies about slavery, movies about freeing the slaves, movies about freedom was not for our people, something that is necessary. You would never hear a Jewish person say, I don't want to see another Holocaust movie. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. You would never see that. You would never hear that because they understand the importance of their history. They understand the importance of their past. They like to stick together. They like to make sure that what they are experiencing, their children, their children's children, their children's children understand it. Because if you don't understand your history, you are bound to repeat it. If you don't understand what's going on and what has happened to you and your people, you are bound to fall for it. You are bound to accept what people are giving you, opposed to telling people and demanding from people how you want to be respected. Let's take real world situation. Kanye West, when he was saying and doing what they wanted him to say and do, they had a problem with him. Kyrie Irving, when he was doing and saying what they wanted him to do and say and being quiet or just being quiet, it was a problem. He made a comment about Semitic. Next you know, he's anti-Semitic. But the definition of Semitic is not just put onto Jews. There's also Asian and African cultures who are Semitic. So when he says he's not anti-Semitic, he's saying that he is a Semitic. If you have roots in Africa and roots in Asia. See, it's stuff like that that we don't understand. We're not willing to comprehend or understand or get some other evidence and do some research about what is being said. That's why when I said previously was not, I always say this, whatever. A lot of people on here are using words and phrases and things of that nature where they don't understand what the meaning of it is, which is ignorance. And people depend on us to be ignorant. People depend on us not to be knowledgeable, not to understand what we're saying, but just to say it. People depend on us not to be able to verbalize and articulate ourselves. And people pick on, like, when people say, oh, well, Fujian, you have a stutter and a stammer. I sure do. But guess what? I'm extremely articulate. I can express myself. And I'm extremely intelligent. I'm extremely knowledgeable. I think critically. I don't just give what you tell me and run with it. I don't just take what you give me and accept it. I do the research. I want to come to an understanding of what I'm being fed or what I'm being trying to be spoon fed. And if I don't like it, I spit it out. Take in what makes me stronger, what helps me be the best person I was meant to be. Not asking for perfection, but asking for God to make me into the most perfect person that I am meant to be. And that takes in information about slavery to help me be more knowledgeable and have more strength in where I stand as a Black man, because I know how they look at me as here in America. And it doesn't help the image of Black people, men and women, when we degrade and degrade each other, promote and sponsor and big up that from each other. It doesn't make us look good. It doesn't make us feel like that we demand respect. How can you expect someone else to respect you when you don't respect yourself or your fellow person? That's what that picture means to me. That's what the movie Emancipation means to me. I can't expect anyone else to respect me as a man, respect me as a human being, if I sit here and tolerate the disrespect of my fellow man or someone who looks like me. Because just because I'm not of dark complexion doesn't mean that you don't look at me the same way as you look at a dark complected man when push comes to shove. It doesn't mean that you don't see me the same way you see that man in that picture. If you had the opportunity to do to me what was done to him, that you wouldn't take it. That's why you think they're fighting so hard. That's even like it comes down even down to the voting. Like I mentioned earlier in this video. Yeah, Black people saying that they're not going to vote because it's not going to change anything. Or Black people saying that, oh, well, they have more money in their pocket since Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was in office. Yes, this country was messed up. This country is in shambles, and everyone's blaming Biden for what's going on. Y'all don't realize, if you don't understand the voting process and how the political process works, you would think that it was Biden's fault for what's happening right now. But you don't realize that first term as a president, you're fixing the mistakes or reveling in the accomplishments of your predecessor, the person that you have preceded. So when Donald Trump seemed like he had all these policies, all these things that's coming into place that made America quote unquote great again, if you don't understand that a lot of those things that has happened that put that money in your pocket that helped the unemployment go down was due to what Obama did in his second term. And what Biden is going through right now is because what the policies and procedures that Trump has put in place during the term that he was a president. So when you're saying, oh, I'm not going to vote because it doesn't change anything, it would never change with that mentality. It would never change if you don't put forth some type of effort, but you sit back and want people to give you or hand you something. It's that mindset that they have brainwashed us as a culture to make us believe that it's not worth fighting for, to continue to enslave us, to continue to mentally, emotionally, spiritually beat us down, to put scars on our backs, to put scars on our soul. The lack of education in our neighborhoods, that is to put scars on our souls, to beat us down, to beat us back, to hold us back. Because they know that if given the fair chance, we will excel and exceed all expectations. We do that now. We are the only people that will have nothing, but that came from nothing, but that will make something of it, even with all of the hardships and heartaches that we experience in our lives and in our previous lives. Generational, we've been trying to be held back, but yet we still excel. You can't get rid of the original. I don't care how hard you try, how hard they try, how hard we choose to help them. Once you understand and recognize that we are the original, you can't tell an original, a copy can't tell an original that you're not worth it. I'm worth more than you. As much heartache and craziness that we've been through, what this country has put us through, we still strive. We still conquer. We still excel in what we do. And when you don't have that mindset, You leave the door open, wide open for them to treat us the way they treat us. Emancipation means so much more than just, oh, he signed a bill and said that, that there's no more slavery. Your body's free, but your mind is still enslaved. Your mentality is still enslaved. Your body's free to do what it wants to do, but you're still trapped in your mind. You're still trapped in your heart. You're still trapped in a place, in a space mentally. While you say, "Oh well, why we got to talk about that? Was not I wasn't around then. That's not what happened to me. That didn't happen to me. It's happening to you right now when you don't see it. It's happening right now when you just go along just to get along. It's happening to you. It's happening to you when you just allow people to tell you anything and you follow just to get along. It happens to you when you backbite and backstab your fellow brother, your fellow sister, just to get a couple more dollars in your pocket. Judas crossed Jesus for what, 20 silver coins. Same concept that we do to each other. Once you start to recognize that these things is a pattern that we are continuing to exhibit, that we're continuing to be a part of, that we are continuing to be talked about and looked at and looked upon, you will always be stuck in that mentality. You will always be stuck with that stream of thought. It's not going to help us to anything because it don't matter because they don't do they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. That's a slave's mentality. Let's fight for our freedom. Let's run. Let's get away. What's not? There's always a couple people. No, it ain't gonna help us anyway. Well, it's not. The journey's too hard. The struggle's gonna be too hard. We may not have food. We may die. If it's worth having, it's worth dying for. Being treated like the human beings that everyone is entitled to be treated like is worth dying for. Is worth fighting for. Is worth doing something besides sitting on your butt and accepting it for. Y'all like this teaching. Y'all don't want to hear this. Y'all want to hear me talk about some nonsense about two groups of women fighting each other. Who cares about that? And what's so sad about that is people coming together like Voltron because they don't like this other group. When they talk about each other like a dog anyway. When they talk about each other like a dog anyway, it's frivolous. It's that mindset of, oh, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. No. Work together if you can work together with not, but don't work together to bring another group of black women down or black people down. How about working to lift each other up genuinely? But I'm sorry, that don't get the numbers. That doesn't get the butts in the seats over here, the eyes on the page over here. Anyways, y'all, this ain't gonna be long. I just want to come to y'all and remind you guys about the movie Emancipation starring Will Smith, which is released in theaters on December 2nd. That movie should be having just as much fanfare as Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I'm just saying. It's based on true events. It's based on a real person's story. As much as I love Black Panther and T'Challa, that's fictional. That was made up by Marvel, based on some loosely based on some real things. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, this movie is what we need. This movie is what we need to see. This movie is what we need to support so we can have more movies like this. We can have more stories like this being told. We've all seen a picture. We all seen the thing. But do we really know what that picture stood for? Do we know what that picture stands for? Do we know how important that picture was across the world to bring an eye and a voice to the brutality of the slave trade here in America? Yes, there's been slave trade throughout history, well before it happened here in America, well before All that, yes. But what makes this so significant is the brutality in which the slave trade here in America happened. The degradation, the destruction of family, of culture, of human beings, stripping away everything that made us us to weaken us spiritually, emotionally, and for centuries. That's what's important. That's the stories that we need to be talking about. That's what we be. That's what should be fighting to be heard, to be seen. I'm just saying, y'all, we have to do better. So some of y'all may not want to do better. Some of y'all may think there's too much. What's not? It's too hard. But the reality of it is, it would never be easy if you allow someone to just treat you however they want to treat you. You just go along just to get along because it's easy. You'll never really truly be free. You'll never truly have the mindset. And there's a quote, the movie that Trevor Noah and Will Smith was talking about. I guess Will Smith's character, the guy that he's playing, the lead character, ran into a soldier, and the guy was like, "We were born free. We're allowed to own homes. We're allowed to, have land and things of that nature." And the character asked, which I thought was a really important message as well. If someone's allowing you to do something, are you truly free? Think about that, y'all. If someone's allowing you to do something, is it truly freedom? If someone's allowing you to move into a neighborhood, is that truly free? If someone's allowing you to go to school, are you truly free to do so? If someone's allowing you to do something, is that truly freedom? We are the only culture that is allowed to do stuff. That someone's allowing us to do this. Oh, they're allowing us to go to this school in this certain neighborhood, this certain district. Why do you think these zoning laws and these redlining things is happening? They want to keep us at a certain area. They want to keep us in a certain area. They want to keep us in a certain economic status. I'm just saying, y'all continue to worry about who said what to who here on these YouTube streets and what emails and what texts and all this stuff needs to be read out for y'all entertainment. Look at the big picture. Who's zooming who? Who's entertaining who? Even a court gesture was allowed to entertain and make fun of the royalty until they went too far, and then they offered their heads, thrown out in the lion's dens. When you're allowed to do something like that, do you even have that freedom to do it? I'm just saying, think about it, y'all. This your boy Food Junkie. Hope you guys had a great day. Hope y'all had a great holiday weekend. Hope y'all have the great rest of your holiday season. I wish y'all luck. Love you guys. But as always, it's important that I love you guys. It's important you love yourself. You love someone else. You respect yourself. And you definitely respect someone else. Like this video, y'all. Although I know it's not going to have a lot of views on it because it's not a bunch of mess going on. You know what I'm saying? Not a bunch of cussing, screaming, and yelling, calling each other's eyes out and pulling each other's hair. It's not that type of thing. I'm really over that aspect of this. So I'm so comfortable with what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But y'all do what y'all want to do. But think about, the consequences of your actions. Think about how it makes not only you look, but us as a people look. Everyone's black power, this is black power, that, yeah, but they don't mind being messy towards black people. I'm just saying. Think about these things. Y'all have a great day, y'all. And if you don't mind, like the video, I definitely would appreciate it. Bye, you guys. Love you. Peace.